talking them up, man. Of course, that's how. dead Lucio for sure. He'll settle for a dead Shu instead. I think I'd be fine with that. Oh, 10 HP links are down. Chara comes back for a bit of revenge. Houston Outlaws with the supercharger, though, doing enough damage to push Charge back.
I mean, Charge used a lot of time there to basically do nothing.
Yeah.
Throughout that engagement, no real ult charge acquired. Be careful about that Mei wall. Have to be careful about the halt coming in from Muma's Orisa. So a lot of ways to punish poor positioning from the Houston Outlaws composition, and they succeed on their first defense.
The Lynx are getting pretty close to that Blizzard already. 73%, not a bad start. Nearly 80 now.
Yeah, such a tremendous ultimate, too, for defending.
I didn't get to split the team, but he's got another chance right now. Trying to finish off Shu. He's got the freeze. There's a nice right click to finish it now after Chari's taking a lot of damage, though. Luckily, he's got the ice block, and that's two members of Charge that are not helping the rest of their team right now. That said, Eileen a little bit on his own, trying to get away.
I mean, that's a great play by Linkser, because if he cuts off, first off, by putting the wall down, he cuts off the Ana's heals, and then he's able to jump down and 1v1 Shu on the Ana. So there's no healing after he wins that duel. He's got the closer respawn. He did his job.
Yeah, and then he pulls both the Lucio and the D.Va away from the rest of the fight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he dies at all at that point.
Totally fine. He's got the Blizzard now. He's feeling great. Muma gets the nano boost, actually. I believe I just saw. Interesting. Linkser with the Blizzard. Not a lot of health remaining, and Rio's going to finish him off.
Nano boost on a Hotba.
Yeah, that's right. Try to get something done with that D.Va here. Meanwhile, Happy looking for the hack onto Kumat. Doesn't find it. Instead, he finds the bullets courtesy of Muma. Eileen with the Dragon Blade going after Mercy. Nearly cuts him down. Oh, but Jake is ready. Jake just taking down Eileen. Or rather, Eileen taking down... Well, they took it down each other at the barrage, all right?
They took down each other. I mean, these are horrible trades for the Guangzhou Charge. Like, it's
a weird fight.
You never want to be trading like this with the ultimates, especially because the nano boost is going down onto Hotba on the D.Va, then you don't have it for Eileen with the Dragon Blade. Now they're going to swap over. The time for change has come for the Guangzhou Charge.
Oh, baby. It's time for the Symmetra. Linkser porting his team up to the high ground. He may just swap off of it there, yeah.
This is some smart changes that are coming in from the Outlaws.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to change back to the Mei now.
He's about to be surprised. Happy sees it all, though.
Just waiting for that opportunity. Now, there isn't going to be a Mei to punish them on the approach this time. Or will there be, thanks to a sleep dart? Okay.
Well, all right, there's the EMP. Hits two people. Not great. Rio pops that Primal Rage. They're trying to make something happen. They do manage to kill Jake. They only need that one tick to finish off the point right now. Muma back on there, standing strong. Oh, but Happy finds Raucus in the back lines. Now Kumat throws in the self-destruct. Some of that damage may have actually been blocked by Linkser's ice wall. Guangzhou all over the point right now. Muma not going to last much longer and shoot unopposed up on that high ground. That's it. Charge. Finally get in there and get that point.
I actually don't know how the Charge won that fight, Doa, because it looks like such an advantage for the Houston Outlaws when they managed to isolate Hotba's D.Va.
It was pretty chaotic towards the end there, but as it is, Houston trying to equalize when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
is a ladder for the Guangzhou Charge. Apparently, they actually take 2 points on Hanamura after being a little bit shaky on that first one. Don't forget, guys, you can get tickets for the All-Star match right now if you go to the website that has those tickets. That's right. It's going to be axs.com/all. That's right. Don't forget. It's going to be a fun time. I may even play in the Talent Takedown. I don't know if they're going to select me, but hopefully I get a chance to wreck some faces. I got some revenge to get Monty. I know you were too cowardly to join the other team this time around.
You already said in our first match today that you were going to lose all the games versus me. So
what? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Did I?
You weren't paying attention.
No, I definitely was not paying attention. No.
I asked you really.
Do
and
I
you
ever?
said yes.
Do I ever pay attention though? I don't.
So,
I'm still gonna.
I'm sorry. You already said you were gonna lose. So.
1v1 me, bro.
Well,
on stage.
And look at this.
He says nothing. Oh, Rio with the defense here. Oh, nice anti-heal on the charge, actually, from the Outlaws. It's going to make it tough to defend this one. Rio finally getting the healing in the end. Barely stays alive. Outlaws kind of trapped.
Well, he's walking in there. He's just walking up on him. I mean, he's already got...
He wants that ultimate, man.
He's got 50% of the charge already.
Yeah. Which is awkward to say when he's on the charge, but that's just the Overwatch League world we live in. Rocket's in trouble. Shu finds the pick.
Ooh, he just threads that needle with the damage over time.
That's why Shu is one of my favorite flex supports in the league.
Still definitely a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
In my mind, yeah, absolutely. That's right, Cool Matt demeched. Looking okay for the... Well, as I say that, that's a pretty big play from Boink there to get rid of Hotpa.
I mean, it's 4v4 on the point, and Rockus is coming back with a nano boost.
That's right, Muma gets the nano boost. Gonna walk back in there. He's got the shatter ready to go as well. He's gonna just use it. Why not, man? No defense for that one. Gonna keep them off the point. That's one tick taken by the Outlaws, and the charge on the outside looking in. Maybe with Happy's grab, they can change it. Sound barrier. Waiting for the grab. There it is. Didn't get eaten. Chart a lot of trouble. They get Boink, actually. And there goes Cool Matt. So, the charge starting to push the Outlaws back. The Outlaws nearly getting the entire point. Rio, get out of there, man. Leap away. He's okay.
He's all right. He's got the healing right now. Raucus now going to get a sleep dart on him point blank. That will not save his life, most likely, as they chase him right outside the gates. And that was a great turnaround from the charge. They waited about as long as you could for Rio and Hotba to get back to that point. The Primal Rage was used, and that's when the sound barrier came down, and it gave them the extra little bit of push they needed to open up space for the Graviton Surge from Happy. Outlaws coming back now, and they will... Linkser, he gets this grab down. They're going to get some eliminations.
Now they're going to try to run in with that sound barrier. Good anti-heal on Raucus and Cool Matt, but it doesn't slow the Outlaws down one bit. Does lead to the death of Boink, though. And now Outlaws trying to fight a 5v5. Make that a little bit less as Rio finds a kill into Raucus. Got that nano boost, got the job done. Damage coming in from Cool Matt, though. Gets Hotba as he uses that self-destruct. Char and Happy kind of on their own. Char just trying to avoid the rest of the Outlaws and just keep Happy healed up. Outlaws can't really push into that.
I mean, Shu is saving these fights, though. The sleep dart and all the healing coming in is keeping them in it.
Anti-heal on Muma and to Cool Matt now. Trying to keep that tank alive. Muma's getting so low. Eileen saved as well by Shu, getting close to get another nano boost. Goes for the sleep dart on the Linkster, does not connect this time. He gets hit by the Earth Shatter instead. But Muma down. The charge have the sound barrier too. They can actually turn this fight around.
Coming back in right now. They have a Primal Rage. Rio was slept, but he's back in the fight.
Yeah, they're looking okay. They've nearly got it. 93% for the Outlaws on point A, but as you say that, the charge back off, or the charge caused Houston to back off.
I mean, this is just an insane defense by the charge.
Yeah.
The way that they're waiting for their respawns right now is so good. They're giving up ticks, but they're not actually giving up the point. And look at this. It is another Graviton from Happy.
This gets so many of them. There goes Muma. Jake already down two. It's going to be a Lucio 1v1 on the point to try to keep it alive. Boink in a lot of trouble. Ryu comes in to try to finish him, but Chara does it for them. And that's Houston Outlaws giving up Hanamura charge with the 2-0 lead.
And we've said this a lot, Doa, but the Houston Outlaws have been full held on Escort, Assault, and Hybrid maps so many times this stage, and it happens again.
True enough. A strong showing so far from the Guangzhou Charge. We talked about this a moment where they can turn their season around. Let's see if they can keep it up after we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
It was really close either way.
Yeah, let's just try to focus on chilling and like not screaming, so we have to like repeat our calls a bunch.
Yeah,
because I think it's really bad right now.
I agree.
A lot of little listening, a lot of yelling. It's not good.
There you heard the Houston guys trying to sort things out in between games. Clearly the comms are a bit of an issue, and you can see the scoreboard kind of reflects that. You got the Charge up 2-0 over the Outlaws at the halves. Let's talk about what we've seen so far from Houston in our first map. Lijiang Tower, they had some good moments, but then there was also some rough ones, guys.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit up and down, mainly down for the Houston Outlaws, unfortunately. I mean, it's been a bit unusual so far from what we've seen, but at least the Guangzhou Charge have been showing us something good here, actually, from a lot of their set plays. I mean, this is classic 2018 Overwatch, combining the Holt ability from the Orisa as well into the hooks. Happy as well, having a fantastic game.
Yeah, the Guangzhou Charge, we talked about it. They're starting to... They got over the hump. They've played all of their difficult opponents, and this was really a must-win match for both of these teams.
Yeah.
The Charge to prove that they are back on the rise, and they can actually at least beat the teams at the bottom of the table. And the Houston Outlaws are still looking for their first win, not only in this stage, but their third map win in this stage.
Say that again. Third map win. What week are we in? We're in week 5 of stage 2.
Yeah, and even in this game, I mean, they were close at times. The first map was actually pretty close to being their third. But come on, this is a team that is really struggling, and this was a must-win game for them if they wanted to try at all to be able to get in the overall playoff hunt.
Those are some of the great moments you saw from the Charge, especially Happy, who is turning up in this match. But let's go back to that Lijiang Tower and take a look back at Game 1, because, as we mentioned, there's some good moments. Here's one.
Yeah, I mean, Houston are able to capitalize off the positioning of Rio here. You can see that they get a nice boop off as well onto him, and they do well as well, I think, in a lot of these neutral engagements when they don't have to rely too much on the ultimate.
Yeah, their neutral is pretty decent, but as soon as the ultimates come into the equation, I think it comes back to what you heard them talk about. The communication really breaks down. When it's chaotic and you have to think about their ults, about your ults, this situation, Muma's
Hurt my
not in a
soul.
position. Raucus feels like he's forced to use his Transcendence. The Trance gets no value. He's pushed to the back. And then in the next fight, they can just get a free grab. Here again, they get in a situation where they're on the retreat. Spree gets bashed. He goes down. Raucus pops his Trance, but it's a little too late. And Boink also panics and uses his sound barrier. And this, I mean, these were only a couple of examples. We didn't want to just flood you with examples, but there were many times where the ults go horribly wrong for the Houston Outlaws, and I think a lot of it does come down to their comms.
Was it 4 or 5?
Maybe.
We
I don't
trimmed
quite
a
know.
few of them. We trimmed a few
Lose
of them.
track.
But let's talk about this comms issue. Is it something that you can talk through and overcome? Because if you looked at Houston back at Dallas, this was a totally different team we watched.
I think it is absolutely something that can be fixed, but the question is it now too late? Like, that's the real issue, because you're thinking big picture in terms of the playoff scenario right now, because we are pretty much at the midway point now of the season, and it hasn't been looking too hot. I mean, is it salvageable at this point? I'm not too sure.
Another weird situation is that they haven't been sticking with the same roster. This is a team that's been chopping and changing a lot of their rosters. At the moment, they're having their most success, or, I mean, they're not having that much success in this match, but when they played against Dallas, they looked competent when they were running this roster. But it doesn't have Dante in it, who's, in my opinion, their best player that they've got on the entire team. So it's a weird situation. They've been pulling people in and out, changing who's been calling for them. Jake has been re-added to the team. He's a very vocal guy. So they're just they've started back at their base and are still trying to build all of this synergy, whereas most of the teams are surging ahead.
Any Houston fans out there have faith? Let us know in the chat. We got a few here in the Blizzard Arena. I want to see this one go to a Game 5. We'll find out. Can the Outlaws force it to get there? That's coming up after this.
Enter for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip for you and a friend to attend the 2019 Overwatch League Grand Finals and get the latest 9th-gen Intel Core i9 processor. Visit intel.gg/Core i9 to enter now.
Well, we've been talking about the Guangzhou Charge and how this match symbolizes what could be a turning point for their season. They had such a rough road up until now. They're a team with talent. We saw that in the first 2 maps, and now that those tough opponents are behind them in the schedule, it's time to get some wins, and they're really looking like they're going for one today.
Yeah, this has to be the point, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting down there at 4-9, you need to win a lot of games to put yourself back up even towards 50%, which is what's necessary to make it into the top 12 to have a shot at those season playoffs. So Guangzhou, this is their time, and they've got to win this match, finish out strong in stage 2, and then really take this break to work hard to say we're going to have a great stage 3 and 4 against some weaker opponents.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got a substitution to talk about, and it's going to be on the Houston Outlaws side of things. Spree, once again, back in the lineup, subbing in for Linkster, but where is Dante?
They asked that at halftime, Doa. Where is Dante is an excellent question right now. It just seems like more musical chairs for the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah.
It's very confusing week to week to understand what their method is for switching up these players.
Yep. Here we go. Moving on to Kings Row, moving on to our hybrid map. Houston Outlaws on the defense first, and that's generally when they've been performing the best as well. You know, we've talked about this a lot throughout the matches over the last few weeks. They've struggled on attack, but their defenses have looked solid here and there.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we can criticize the number of times they've been full held, they actually have had some pretty good defenses, like you're saying. They didn't even have a terrible B defense on Hanamura.
Well, that's the frustrating thing, right, is they have these great defenses, but then they themselves get full held, so it doesn't end up winning them any maps.
And look at this. We are going to see the Houston Outlaws. Of course, now that we have Spree, Cool Matt, and Jake in the roster together, you know what they're going to run. They're going to run 3-3 with this composition. They don't have a lot of flexibility from Spree and Cool Matt because the only thing Spree flexes to is Diva. And Cool Matt doesn't flex, really. We've seen a little bit of it, but he is mostly a Diva player in the history of his Overwatch League career.
I mean, I'm sure if you look at time played, it's like 99.5% Diva for Cool Matt. Here we go. Now Rio in a lot of trouble early on, but they get the kill on Namuma anyway. Can they keep their tank alive? It looks like the charge can, as they start to finish off the members of Houston and just completely rock Point A. It was over before I even started talking, man.
Yeah, that's another elimination from Shu.
Yep.
Now, Shu is a player.
He's the MVP, man.
Yeah, he dropped off a lot of our radars. During stage 1, we talked so much about, is this guy going to be Rookie of the Year? And because of all the difficult matches that Guangzhou had, as well as a slump from him, I feel, so those things both happened at the same time. And but now I think tonight he's having just an outstanding series.
I think it's demoralizing going through that kind of gauntlet of matches against really difficult opponents. And you know, Shu is a great individual player on that Flex tank. I really have always loved watching him on the Ana, especially. But now he's kind of getting some time to shine. Speaking of Ana's on board with Raucus. Rio down, so good start for Houston. They're going to give the nano boost over to Muma, too, as they push forward. They actually get the transcendence out of Shu. That I question a little bit. But either way, any way you slice it, Houston Outlaws doing a bit of spawn camping now.
Yeah, and they've got a Shatter too and a Rally, so they can continue to play aggressively. Guangzhou not working with a whole lot right now. Great use of that nano boost from Raucus onto Muma, and they are going to seat themselves on the high ground.
Muma just goes for the close range pin, but he gets taken out of combat way back. The team has to fall back to protect their Reinhardt. Spree down, though. Happy with the kill there, and as they push forward, they're going to have a lot of extra damage. Zarya against no Zarya on the Outlaws side.
It's a temporary victory there for the Houston Outlaws, as they do fall. The charge follow down faster to the charge, and Spree sort of gets caught in the rotation.
Yeah.
And so he becomes an easy target, lagging behind the rest of his team. They still maintain their ults, though. Charge used the Rally. Houston Outlaws did not.
Yeah, they spot him. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to get a little bit cute there, but he does get seen by Cool Matt before he can pull off a sneaky shatter.
Yeah, you got to check your corners, and Houston doing that at least. Charge nearly to the end of B. We'll see if they can get anything done with this grab. Happy throws it in right now. Muma gets stunned, a little bit of trouble. He's going to go down to Rio's charge. Takes him right out of the equation. Jake falling back. The Rally did not help. Outlaws with one last ditch effort here to stop the charge from taking B. Got to get on the point. Jake walks forward. Now the sound barrier for Houston as they get aggressive. Spree still has that grab. Gets moved away, though, trying to prevent him from using it. Transcendence used before the grab comes in. And now the self-destruct from Kumat. A kill onto Happy.
Big
and
shatter.
A great shatter from Muma as well. And now Houston will get a little bit of purchase here on the point.
Yeah, getting Happy with that self-destruct as well as the shatter. Just an impressive series of plays. And now Guangzhou Charge have to regroup. Houston Outlaws use basically everything, though. They'll have a trance and a rally, so some survivability right now, but Guangzhou nearly going to be able to match them. Maybe they can get something done with a self-destruct engage.
Yeah.
Watch for Happy as well. He's been charging these ultimates extremely quickly this match.
40% so far and growing. See if Hotbook can do a good note impression and get a couple kills. out of a possible self-destruct engage.
We really see this approach through the brewery, but they just really want to control high ground and push Spree off, looks like. And they're going to get their wish thanks to Chara.
That's the plan. Now Rio in a little bit of trouble. Make that a lot better trouble. He's going to go down, and Eileen falling with him as well. Yep, Eileen use that rally. And crucially for Houston, all they needed to do was use their own rally to win that fight as well.
I like the call there from the Outlaws to play aggressively while they were spending so many resources to dislodge Spree from the high ground. Muma now with a sneaky corner shatter. Gonna try and hit this one. They know they don't have a lot of ultimates, so they need to make a good fight win here.
Oh, he gets it! That's a nice shatter.
Bubble.
But the Zari bubble comes in. Doesn't matter. Eileen down anyway. That was a good defense. This is what we're talking about. Houston, they're very quick to adapt on the defenses, setting up a lot of these trick plays and things. It works well.
I mean, this is just huge, though, for the Outlaws, because a fight win like that gets you a lot of ult percentage in other places. So you get the surprise factor, you get the time off the clock, and you start to just creep back into the game.
Right.
When it comes to these ult percentages. So Guangzhou now no longer going to be at a big advantage because Spree got a lot of ult charge, so he'll be matching when it comes to Gravitons now.
Yeah, Kumat got his ult too. Charge trying to push short-handed in terms of the ultimate department right now. Happy close to another grab, of course. Might come down to the battle there. Boink a little bit closer to his sound barrier than Chara is at the moment too in terms of the two Lucios. Happy pushing forward. Muma swinging away. There's the grab from Charge. They're going in on this. Eileen down already, though. Couldn't keep their Brigitte alive. Spree uses the grab as well, trying to set up Kumat, and he gets the kill onto Happy. Houston still defending.
Yeah, they're going to come back. They just get the ultimates in at the right time now for the Houston Outlaws. Great counter grab there. That was the big play, was Spree's counter grab on Guangzhou's engage, which held them away at arm's length and gave them some time. So now, Houston in a great position. Start taking this map back.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, you have. Different position, though.
Yeah.
We'll see if the story ends the same way. I think it will, Doa.
Nope. From above, except for they do. Charges back to join his team. I was going to give extra points if he did a 360 shatter from the top rope, but no, Muma just going to play it straight up. Now the sound barrier comes in. Oh, wow. That shatter got blocked as well. Houston trying to push back again with the rally. Rio in a lot of trouble. He's not going to make it out. They have been really taking it to Rio all round long. And now Outlaws with the advantage here. They lose Muma, but they've got enough kills that this should be where the payload stops. They've got the grab.
Got the Transcendence. There's the Graviton on the other side. Transcendence comes in from Raucus.
All right, Hotba just trying to fire away as much as he possibly can. Houston's still in this one.
They got to stay on the payload. They don't do it. Hotba can't fall fast enough as he tries to buy time with the self-destruct.
Yep, that happens. Well, great defense for Houston Outlaws. We've seen it before, but now, can they equalize on the attack? This is where the big test has always come up for them. We'll see if they can pull it off when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Well, if there's a bright spot on the Houston Outlaws, that man is probably it. Muma in the main tank position, having some pretty sick shatters with the Reinhardt, obviously playing well on pretty much every other main tank hero you can throw at him, and certainly has been a core pillar of this team since day one.
Yeah, it hasn't been enough to really win them a match this stage, though, unfortunately for the Outlaws. So a great opportunity to at least take a map and start making their way back into this series. They held strong at the end of point B. So we'll see if the Outlaws have a solid attack here, something that they have struggled with. Shu now,
what's wrong with Zen?
He's just practicing.
What's going on?
Practicing his shots.
He's short-circuiting. Nice thing is if you destroy Zen, though, he's 100% recyclable.
Oh, that's good.
He's good for the environment. Except for that particular environment we just saw.
Except for the Omnics, I think we're pretty generally terrible for the environment.
That wasn't Zenyatta.
Look at that Bastion
Don't
sword.
generalize.
He murdered a forest, Doa.
You are just generalizing way too much. And all those poor Omnics like Zenyatta that just want to chill out and have fun.
We're going to see the 3-3 from both teams coming in here.
Pretty much.
They start scrapping in front of the statue. Rio getting low.
That they do, yeah. Rio in a lot of trouble. Houston Outlaws now trying to make that attack work. Rio gets his Zarya shield. He needs to get some health along with that, though. Guangzhou charge having to give some ground. Oh, Muma down to like 2 health. Get some healing right at the very end of it, but it does mean that the Outlaws have to back off as well. Gotta keep that main tank up.
Yeah, they had to keep their tanks up on that front line. Needed to back off, take some cover. Well, so their cooldown's coming. Coolbat very low there.
Yeah.
Barely not debacked. So Outlaws get a tick, though. That's a pretty good first push for them. Taking a look at Shu right now. Doesn't have the Transcendence. Raucus gets his online right away. Big difference, though. Happy and Spree. That grav coming up much faster for the charge.
I mean, that's what Happy does, man. He gets those Graviton surges so quickly. He's going to have it in like 1 second. 1/1000. Boom. See, I told you. Now can he use it to win the team fight? We'll see. Muma a little bit half health already.
Well, that's an early
Transcendence out. Oh no, and as soon as that Transcendence is gone, the grav is going to come in. It's going to make sure it's not going to get eaten first by Cool Matt, but we'll see if Happy finds the opportunity. Both Ryan's down. He's going to go for it anyway. Whoa, sound barrier from both sides. Hotbo with the self-destruct and no kills from that one. Rockets, though, coming back. It's a blows traded between both teams, but Houston Outlaws look like they're going to be able to get point A here. We'll see. Maybe Charge will come back in, but don't know if it's worth it now. Yeah, I don't think so. No.
They can't do it now. And Houston Outlaws got enough time there to get Spree's Graviton up. They saved Boink's sound barrier for the Graviton from the Charge. So Charge spent a lot of time, and the grab they had was just not effective. Solo grab onto Cool Matt, not what you want if you're the Charge in that scenario.
Yep.
And Houston already making a lot of space, so no good chance for the Charge here really to defend at the choke, which they would love to do right now because they've got to wait for 4 minutes if they want to win this map here on B.
It's going to have to be a long defense for sure.
Yeah, the Outlaws already getting some good cart movement.
Yep. They're out of that danger zone at the beginning of B anyway. Rio getting aggressive, man. They're going to walk in with the sound barrier. They get the Transcendence on a Raucus in the process. Cool Matt stunned here. They tried to get some kills with Rio Shatter. Didn't end up working out. Now Transcendence as they try to come back into the fight again. Into the side room, the cafe, the danger zone. Muma taken out. That's right. No relaxation in this pub. Houston Outlaws, though, they turn the fight around.
Uh-oh, this is really bad, too, because now they can stagger Hotba.
Yeah.
Not going to do it because he has to delay the cart right there.
It's going to be tough to
keep
defend.
It moving, and now they're going to get the late stagger. So there's going to be really 1 or 2 more defenses here left for the Charge. They basically have to win every team fight now. Houston in commanding position to win here on Kings Row.
Yeah, this might end up being a very close map. Happy needs to have an amazing grab to try to turn this one around. Houston Outlaws on the verge of starting to come back in this series. Jake with the rally now. There's a grab from Happy. Tries to find a kill on the Muma. There's a charge, and Rio takes him out. Rio, though, saved by the Zarya shield. Can they keep him up? The Brigida Sun came in anyway. Wow. Jake stunned him with the Brigida. He got charged by Muma, and he still lived.
They did use the rally, though. However, Guangzhou charge.
Worth.
Very good value. Rally and Graviton. So they're going to be coming up on 4 ultimates here for this defense. Outlaws nearly at 5, though. This is going to be the pivotal fight.
Spree should have that Graviton surge up as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a big fight right now. This may be the most important fight of this map, because whoever uses ultimates here may get punished for the rest of the engagement. Outlaws got to win this.
Very true. Muma, is he going to go for maybe a sneaky shatter under the cart? He will. Oh, and it works too. Transcendence comes in to save the day at the last moment for both teams now. There's a grab. Self-destruct's coming in. Sound barrier doesn't help. Coolmat with 2 anyway. And the Outlaws are right there. Chara with the kill on the Muma, but they're going to need a lot more than that. I don't think the Lucio and Diva are going to be able to do it. Maybe Happy. No chance. And the Houston Outlaws get a win on the board.
That was such a great charge, taking away the barrier, and even though the sound barrier was used, Coolmat's mech was placed with the self-destruct. No chance of survival right in the center of that grab. Outlaws get a map on the board.
Jake feeling good about that one. Houston Outlaws, there's a chance. We'll see if they can tie it up when we come back.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Well, the Houston Outlaws have achieved their 3rd map win of the stage. They are on the board versus the Guangzhou Charge, and Kings Row looked pretty convincing, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. And Houston Outlaws, we spent a lot of time last season talking about, we called Kings Row Spree's Row a lot of the time because he would be subbed in, and the Houston Outlaws always seem to do very well on that map. They repeat that here, picking up another victory. They were 3-1 on that map coming in, same as the Charge.
Well, on Kings Row, let's compare the divas here. Obviously, cool man, the numbers looking pretty good there.
Yeah, I mean, 5 self-destruct to 0, 10-1 final blows. Close in deaths, but eliminations again. Coolmat more than doubling. So very good performance from Coolmat. Yeah. Of course, setting up those self-destruct kills is definitely a team effort, and that's where the Outlaws were excelling.
I think the self-destruct kills are the most telling stat there, and that really shows that all the Outlaws were on the same page. You know, that strategy that's kind of been lacking from time to time was really kind of firing on all cylinders there.
So Hakba, who I think performed very well in the first half, having an off map for sure. He actually didn't die at all on their attack, even though they did get held at B, so a little bit interesting there.
It is interesting. Substitution, it's going to be Kib. Subbing in for Eileen, as the Guangzhou Charge do fairly often.
I mean, I'm not surprised because this is Rialto, and Rialto is a map that you will only play 3-3 on for the most part. And so when you know that you're not going to be flexing Eileen potentially onto a Sombra, then might as well have Kib in, who has become a Brigida specialist for this roster.
Yeah. Why not? Well, we will see if Kib is the key for the Guangzhou Charge to close out this series, get a 3-1 victory, or if the Houston Outlaws are going to take us to that 5th and final map in this series. give themselves a chance to finally get a match win here in Stage 2.
And Rialto has been pretty miserable for both of these teams. Outlaws 0-4, Guangzhou Charge 1-3 this year.
Yikes.
They're not looking too great, but somebody's got to win this one, Noah. There will be no draw.
Somebody's got to win it. That is the potential story of the match. Somebody's got to win this.
And we'll see if Guangzhou can bounce back after that loss, or whether Houston Outlaws will continue with this momentum.
Well, we'll see. The Outlaws, obviously, not going to make the playoffs here. Neither team in this match will, for the stage playoffs at least. But the Outlaws just do not want to be an 0-7 team, right? I mean, it was shocking last stage when the Valiant became our first 0-7 team of 2019, and Outlaws do not want to join that club.
I mean, the problem is if you go 0-7, you're basically out of season playoffs, because
that too.
If you go 0-7, you have to win 2/3 of your remaining matches just to go 50%. It is incredibly difficult to have that level of turnaround.
Right.
From totally defeated to, a potential stage playoff team for the other 3 stages that you're running.
Sure.
So it's very important for both of these teams overall in season standings that they win this match here tonight.
Right. Now, 1-6 isn't much better, but it's something at least, right? Yeah. A lot of mirrored windows in Rialto. Interesting.
Well, that's a nice boop off onto Muma. He's too far forward. Does manage to get back with the help of the Brigida armor pack.
Well, luckily Jake was there to help bail Muma out a little bit. Rio on the point right now. Houston trying to push this one forward. Oh, they've got a great angle onto Kib. Kib in a lot of trouble. Oh, Jake pitches his shield bash, and now Jake's the one in trouble. Hatpa gets the kill. Rio with the nano boost gets charged after the charge, but he's the Rhine doing the damage right now. Doesn't matter. Muma gets the kill anyway. Charge trading blows with the Houston Outlaws right now, and in the end, they are going to be able to push Houston back a moment.
Yeah, but Charge have to get out. It's 2 supports. That's actually Shu gets Ruckus is huge right there. They're going to be able to make another defense because of that elimination.
Seems that way.
Oh boy,
it was a brawl on the payload, but
I mean, Ruckus dying at the end of that makes it so Houston can't move the payload further because they have to wait for his respawn. Had that not happened, we would have seen Happy take a lot longer to get back to that point before the Outlaws could push. So that was very disastrous.
Charge with the ult advantage. Can they use it to get a hold here at the end of A? Grab gets thrown in by Spree. They're just going for it, man. Brings the sound barrier out from Charge. Moving forward, all right. Shatter comes in. They knock down Cool Matt. Can they get the DMAC? Yes, they can. Jake in a little bit of trouble, too. Can't finish him off yet. Meanwhile, Happy, he got stunned. The shield wasn't up in time. Self-destruct grabs Muma from Hotba, though, as a Charge turn it around. Goodbye, Jake. So they barely managed to hold at the end.
A massive investment from the Charge, though. You're looking at 5 ultimates that were dropped in that fight in order to hold at the end of A. Outlaws going to be coming up with a lot of ults of their own. They should be feeling confident on this next push. 2 support ultimates. I mean, they have to get... Guangzhou Charge, this value from the Nano has to be huge.
Yeah.
Are they going to put it on Hotba? They do like to Nano boost Hotba, even when he's on the Diva.
And we'll see. With such a narrow choke, it feels like the Rhine is the way to go.
They should nano the Rhine or the Zarya.
We'll see what it's going to be. Shu waiting to use that one. Goes for the sleep dart, but he doesn't connect with anybody. All right, keeping everyone healed out. There's the reload. Now Rio does get the nano boost. He's swinging right into the sound barrier, though. Oh, but it's a great shatter.
Oh, we got the mech. It doesn't matter, though. They still break his shield.
Wow, that's crazy. The mech didn't even fly forward like Kumat wanted it to, but they get the kills in the end anyway. That fell apart in a weird way for the Charge.
Yeah, it definitely did. Looked like the counter shatter was good, but because they're still able to eliminate the Reinhardt barrier, they get the necessary elim. So Houston Outlaws keep the payload moving there, temporarily held up, but now they have 3 minutes here to make it through B. They're starting to take control of this high ground. Guangzhou has a rally. Luckily for them, they also will have a grab and a sound barrier shortly.
Yeah. Muma coming down, has no care at all for railings. Nobody does in Overwatch. We've established that. It's the most anti-railing video game ever made.
Can't argue about that, though.
Yep. True fact. Happy. Yeah, that's right. Avoid the valuable furniture. And Chara down. Oh, Spree with a big pick. And now Rio falls as well. The Outlaws not really even needing to fight a big straight-up fight to win this one.
Oh, boy. I mean, that's bad. You need to hold for some time there to stop the momentum if you're Guangzhou. That corner is such a huge defender's advantage. Now they're not going to get that. Can they even get back in time? Looks like they will have a fight at the end of B.
You're right, though. Like, losing the chance to fight at that corner really hurts. Hotpa just trying to delay things right now, but he's in danger of being DMAC'd. He will be. Grav comes in. Raucous with the Transcendence, so Hotpa. Oh, he gets Spree with the self-destruct. That's not bad. Charge pushing forward. They get Jake as well. So, okay. Muma down. And that was a really last-minute team fight win for Charge. I mean, Hotpa had to just delay, self-destruct. They happened to get the Grav. Close call, but they defend B.
They do, but it just seems like the Houston Outlaws are always getting the better value out of the ultimates, right? Guangzhou is committing so much to barely hold in these fights, and then Houston just rolls right back in with a big ult economy advantage to that next fight. And it looks like they're going to be hitting that again pretty soon here.
At least you've got, well, what should be a little bit better defensive position, but maybe not. Muma tries to go for a big shadow, but doesn't really find anybody with it. Self-destruct coming in for Cool Matt, and he finds the kill on Nachara. Shu coming in with the Transcendence. They're going to try to win an aggressive 5v6, but with Raucous' ultimate in action, I don't think that's going to happen. Rio goes for another shatter, but doesn't really do anything for the charge, and that should be point B now.
And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, even Shu's Transcendence there. Chara was already eliminated by Cool Matt's self-destruct. So Jake pops the rally. They have to use a trance of their own to re-engage, but they're going to finish out B here, get some more time. 2 minutes, enough to finish this map. Not a whole lot, though.
Point C is tough on Rialto, so this is one of those maps where you would like a little bit more time coming into this one, but you know they've done well so far. We'll see it. Even pushing it this far on Rialto is sometimes enough to win the map anyway.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Yep.
And we see Charge now. Another Graviton Surge available, but Boink has been sitting on this sound barrier. He'll be ready for it.
Yeah, Spree's pretty close to a grab, too.
And Guangzhou Charge, they really want to fight on the choke. Problem is if you lose at this choke point, then you get spawn camped very hard on this map.
Yeah, they're going to have the support ultimates they need, though. This is a fight that Charge should be pretty good with.
I mean, it
although
depends.
Houston kind of equalizing ultimates now. They've waited long enough.
It depends on how Houston wants to run this.
Yeah.
You're going to play aggressively. There you go.
All right. Grabs used. Self-destruct for Hotba coming in. Is the sound barrier enough? It's a brawl. Everybody dogpiling onto the payload right now. Charge finally backs off.
Where's the sound barrier from Chara? They've got to start thinking about using it.
Yeah, you got to get aggressive with that one right now. They're going to try. Rio, though, already super low. I don't even know if he got that shield. He got killed so fast, and Outlaw just kind of rolled through that one. That was a pretty ineffectual defense from the Charge.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and a lot of it was they didn't want to commit, so now Houston's going to come back and finish the map. 3 points, time in the bank as well. That sound barrier came out so late, they went back into their own spawn.
Yeah.
And then the shatter hit Rio.
Well, it was really strange, yeah, because it seemed like Rio just didn't even get any benefit from that sound barrier, too.
I think they just focused him really hard. It was good shot calling by the Outlaws, but what a very strange, reluctant play on the side of Guangzhou.
Well, that was a weird part, right? Is that they just looked like they didn't even want to fight, you know? They just looked like they were cowering.
Yeah.
Waiting for Houston to push that payload in there.
And Houston came back after halftime and has adjusted by focusing Rio very hard.
Right.
And it doesn't look like we've seen a lot of changes in the way that the Charge are playing in order to handle that, because Rio is just, he just has to stand there with his shield up in a lot of these fights because he's just so low.
Right. Well, the Guangzhou Charge going on the attack now, so we'll see if maybe they can equalize. 39 seconds in the time bank for the Outlaws, so it's something, but it's not, unbeatable by the Charge.
Yeah, they didn't do well on their last attack, and they haven't, as a team, done very well on Rialto, but at least they pulled off a win, and the Outlaws still hunting for their first.
That is true.
The Charge need this, though, as a time to put away this series and show that they are going to be on the upswing.
Yeah, if you You know, we've kind of given them the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent because of their performance in Stage 1. They showed some good stuff, but if you go through all those tough matches, but then the very first thing you do is lose to the Houston Outlaws, then we have to start having a different conversation about the charge, I think.
Yeah, and there's another conversation, which is the Paris match where they got 4-0'd is the one where you sort of think to yourself, I understand the rest of these, but maybe I don't understand you getting completely swept by Paris.
It is odd. I mean, it could be one of those situations where they prepped more for the harder opponent in their mind, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but it is odd. Especially after Stage 1 where Charge looked fairly strong.
I agree. Well, we're coming back into this now. Boink actually trying to set up control of the high ground there for the Outlaws. Does,
as you do,
manage to get the Outlaws. Muma though gets flanked.
I mean, just too much damage
by Happy.
Just too much damage too fast. He wasn't even necessarily that far away from the rest of his team, but that was just it. Spree now in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have his shield. Roasted by Happy. Might end up being a very quick point A take already for the charge.
Yeah, it did. Take a look at Raucus here. He's going to come back in with the Transcendence.
All right, they're going to use the Graviton. They just want to take A. Muma delivered back to the team by Rio, and they're going to get the kill on Jake too. So yeah, just a grab to make sure that point A goes smoothly. Give themselves 5 minutes now to tackle B.
Yeah, Guangzhou still with a nice ultimate bank coming up, although Outlaws will be looking at 6 pretty soon. This has already been very fast for the charge, right?
Yeah.
So you're much more confident on this attacking round and get that payload continuously moving. We'll see what the Outlaws are able to do. They have stabilized onto the high ground of that turn. We'll be attempting the drop down now.
That's the plan. Rio's waiting for him, though. He's got that shatter ready to go. Oh, Happy. What in the world? Happy was just ahead of the payload, and he just got dove. They just jumped right down on him. Easiest kill in the world for Houston, and they're just gonna push charge back to spawn.
I mean, that's a great freebie for the Houston Outlaws, right? You're able to take that fight by using 0 ultimates. You have position now as they have to come back through this choke. You can rotate back to the high ground if you want. This should be a pretty nice long defense for the Outlaws if they play it properly.
It was strange. It almost looked like Happy just didn't realize that the Houston Outlaws could jump down on him from there. 6 ultimates for the Outlaws right now. 5 for the charge, but crucially missing that grab. Spree's going to use his right now. A charge.
Oh, Happy.
Muma takes Shu way out of it, but he comes back with the Transcendence.
The shatter.
Whoa, now that is an Earth shatter. Luckily for the Outlaws. Wow, Chara pushes Spree up, and Muma goes as well. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, then.
The setup there around the Earth Shatter, they punish them for coming back in, and they force the sound barrier out. So Outlaws drop absolutely everything, lose the fight. Chara still has sound barrier, and Guangzhou is able to charge back up to about 50% across the board. That is a massive momentum changer for the charge.
That was disastrous for the Outlaws, because right now, that payload is going to get a lot of distance. Hatpa ducking in onto Muma. Outlaws just not ready for the aggression. Yeah, you got to keep pushing the payload, but the fight has been won. They're trying to just deliver themselves point B right now.
Yeah, this is just going to keep on rolling. I love how Guangzhou played that aggressively. They know they have the sound barrier, but maximize the value you have. Kill them as quickly as you can to prevent them from just slowly charging their ultimates back up. And you can see the economy is still pretty broken for the Outlaws.
Yeah. Looking much better for the charge at the moment. Over 4 minutes on the clock, too. They've basically doubled the time that Houston had to try to take C. Right now, just poking. Somebody's got to go back and move the payload. It's been a bit odd that they've let the payload sit as long as they had.
They keep on moving forward. Charge with 5 ults again. Houston Outlaws now about to stabilize nearly a full point after they lost that engagement. But Guangzhou's going to be right there matching them one more time.
Yep. Happy's grab. Gonna go ahead and use it. They pull Cool Mad in there. Swinging away, grabs her both sides. Shu's got the Transcendence. It's gonna be Raucus using his as well. Big shatter actually coming out for Rio. But then Charge unable to respond with any sort of kills. Muma tries to go in with the shatter.
Yeah, so they're going to push forward right now. So a solid win for the Outlaws. Maintaining that sound barrier as they continue to push forward, trying to get as many staggering kills as they can, pushing them all the way back towards the spawn.
Okay.
Guangzhou, though, they can open this up. with a self-destruct. Hoppa perfectly able to use that ability. Should be able to force them back at the very least. Looks like they want to come across the bridge here and take the high ground.
All right, here we go. Charge going in. Self-destruct, nothing. Muma, though, in a lot of trouble. They're going to roast him. And now the sound barrier coming out a little bit too late for the Houston Outlaws. That said, Coolmat did get the kill onto Shu, so Houston with a chance, but now Coolmat pays for it with his mech. That payload has not moved that much yet, though. The charge finally getting it going a little bit more, so maybe a chance to keep pushing here. Yeah, they will. Okay, so 2:25 left on the clock right now. Shu very close to the Transcendence. I think the charge may have just enough to push over the finish line. Spree's grab is going to be the thing that's going to be the most important here. If he gets a good one, maybe the Outlaws can turn it around, but they're going to have to contest with the Transcendence.
Yeah,
Happy,
back
uses
in.
the grab. There it is. And they need the kills to follow it up, though. Raucous Transcendence denies that. Now the opposite situation as the Transcendence from Shu delivers him, but Rio gets killed anyway, and now the charge getting pushed back. Houston Outlaws with a real chance to win this one now.
Absolutely. Only less than 2 minutes remaining. They're going to get happy as the Houston Outlaws just push forward and take him down one more time. It is a long walk from the spawn all the way to the end of point C. And the Outlaws have the ultimate bank to make this work. There's no Graviton really to punish their lack of support ultimates right now. Kib has a rally. Maybe they can do something with that. See if Guangzhou makes a decision sort of to move in quickly, try and eco push fast, or whether they're going to try and stay here and poke for a while in order to power up their ultimates and try and fight Houston in one apocalyptic fight with like 6 ults for each team.
I mean, Happy has that talent of building grabs really quick. Maybe Rio can find a good shatter here. Either way, the Houston Outlaws just need to hold for just 1 minute more. Shatter comes in. Kib and Hoppa knocked down. Shu and Rio knocked out of this mortal coil. Muma catches Happy on the way out. What a great exit kill. And now the charge in trouble. They used the rally there. They saved everything else. So they do have another chance at least to fight this.
Yeah, they do. And I'm wondering about that. They opened up the shatter opportunity for Muma because Rio was trying to flank around for a shatter behind him. Seemed like a bit of a desperate play, but they knew they were going to have enough time.
Yeah, a little bit too tricky.
Well, I mean, I think that they were trying to say, okay, we'll get him to use shatter. If he doesn't, we'll get a good shatter ourselves. If not, we're going to get some more ult charge up for this next push. This is the do or die push for the charge.
Absolutely. Same could be said for the Outlaws. They want to win this map. They want to force it to the tiebreaker. They're going to be relying on the ultimates to do it. Grab ready to go. 5 seconds remaining. Somebody needs to pull the trigger. Probably going to be on charge. They're the attackers, man. They need to make something happen. Yeah, that's right.
For that Graviton surge. Happy's nearly up to his, though. Guangzhou looking for a 5-volt push. Houston Outlaws going to be right there with them shortly.
Into overtime. Char coming around the back looking for the
Hoppa Spree's grab.
That's right. That is big. Spree loses a crucial ultimate. Hoppa back in the mech again. They're going to charge forward with Shu's Transcendence.
Big
what a shatter from Rio. Outlaws in a lot of trouble, but no, they turn it right around on the Reinhardt. Sound barrier comes in just in time to save Rio. Now Kumat dispositioned. Muma in a little bit of trouble. Needs to use that shatter. Muma died with Earth Shatter. Oh no, he used it right as he was dying. Doesn't matter. The Outlaws turn it around. It's just Chara and Happy on the point. Hotpa trying to scramble to stay on it as well, but he's not going to be able to. Houston Outlaws, they are going to tie this series. We are going to the tiebreaker map.
Outlaws holding strong on a tough push there from the charge. They are bouncing back. They take their first win ever on Rialto.
Wow. So in this match, the Outlaws have already doubled their map wins for stage number 2. Can they exceed it? Can they win this series? We're going to find out when we come back. Our 5th and final control map. We'll see you in just a moment. The reverse sweep, it is a possibility. We are going to the 5th and final map between the Guangzhou Charge and the Houston Outlaws. Houston may yet avoid that 0-7 stage.
Well, I know a lot of Houston Outlaws fans are not going to be thrilled to see map 5 because in the history of this team, it has not meant good things. They're 0-2 on it this season. They are 4-11 on it with basically the same roster of players except for Dante over the course of the Outlaws' history.
Right.
So they have tended to collapse when they reach this point. They have only completed a reverse sweep one other time in their history.
You know, that said, looking at the Charge in our last map, I'm getting a little bit worried about those guys too because they're hitting some good earth shatters, they're getting some good grabs, they're getting good setups to win team fights, but then just nobody is dying on their opponent's side. And I feel like the coordination, the following up on the fight initiation from the Charge has certainly been lacking on the last 2 maps.
Yeah, I think it's hard to disagree with that. Outlaws also getting themselves together, but
Yeah.
we are going to see Eileen return to this lineup.
Eileen back in for Kiv.
And it will be Linkser.
But that's not all. Lynx are back in for the Houston Outlaws. And Dante, finally, he's back.
He's arrived
That's right.
for Game 5, Map 5 here.
Who knows where he was? Dante has been known to travel to some pretty extreme locations in literature throughout the centuries,
Right.
but he's back here in this match right now.
That's right. He's made it back from the 9th Circle of Hell, or Purgatory, maybe, as the Outlaws might be known.
Wow,
No.
that's a really mean thing to say about Dallas, Monty. I can't believe you say that about the city of Dallas and all those wonderful people that live there.
I mean, there's no depth to Dallas. It's very flat, so it couldn't possibly be the 9th Circle.
It's a good point, dude. The landscape was very flat there. That's right. Well, Busan is where we're going now.
And this is the map the Houston Outlaws managed to win over the Vancouver Titans. They pulled out the Torbjorn strat on this point. We'll see if that is going to be the play this time around as well. Obviously, this is a point that lends itself quite nicely to many damage dealers in your composition.
All
Jake
right,
on the
I'm ready.
Torb, and here we go. Links are on the Soldier, most likely.
Let's get crazy. Here we go. Busan, it's Shrine. Outlaws going to the DPS. Jake on the Torbjorn. All right.
All right, they're going to switch up immediately, Charge, even though they were already running the Moira, and you should absolutely expect this. Now, the thing about the Torbjorn here is very easy to hide the turret, and the point is very small.
Hide it on the Hette.
You can
There he
molten
is.
core. You can molten core that point and make it very difficult for teams to contest it.
That's right. That statue there of the lion creature is called a Hette in Korean folklore. It can supposedly, if I remember right, tell if you're lying. Yikes. Eileen finishes off the turret right away. Happy in a lot of trouble here, trying to go toe-to-toe with Dante.
Happy can't hit the shot, but he does force the translocate, but
Jake.
Jake in there for the finisher.
Oh, no, but Eileen gets him with the Hanzo as well. Charge. Nobody's been able to take control yet until right now, and the Charge do it.
So the Charge are ready for this. Should be an obvious Houston strategy. And in fact, the Charge themselves have run this strategy after seeing it from Houston. So better believe they probably have an idea of what they're going to be doing here, having run the Torbjorn on this point. And Guangzhou want to go with that double sniper.
Linkser took a big chunk of damage from that headshot from Happy.
Yeah, Linkser will be moving over to the Zarya, so it will just be back to 3-3. Houston takes the loss on the first point, but they're trying to get ahead now.
Yeah, here we go. Can they just
Eileen,
run Rhea over?
the sleep dart. Ah, nice sleep dart.
I mean, that's the thing. Now that Houston has swapped back to the 3-3, you can just kind of bulldoze your way through this more, DPS-oriented composition. The double sniper from the Charge.
Yeah, there's no way really for the snipers to get value.
Yeah.
Because you're shooting tanks, just charging up support ultimates.
Yep.
You're, Happy having an infrasight doesn't do much. They're going to have to switch back to 3-3 initially. But they did get
Good delay.
more than 50% off of this.
So
So,
Hotpa's still keeping it going right
the
now. Look at
Mercy's
that.
still there. Char is still there healing him up. Finally,
Yeah.
Dante gives him a nice punch on the Diva. But now you have a bunch
Wow.
of players. The problem for the Outlaws is because they had to switch to this, they have a bunch of players off-rolling. Dante hasn't been great on Diva. Linkser hasn't been great on Zarya. So is this ult economy that they developed, I mean, look at that. They nearly get 4 ults already.
Yeah.
Going to be enough to carry them through to 100%.
Well, if you're Charge, you're pretty happy with the 61% you were able to get, and I think you just go and try to pull some ultimates out of the opponents,
It's all about the economy pushes right now.
Yeah.
Eileen trying to get cute there.
Yep.
Booping somebody out. He's going to find Muma from behind.
A good healing onto his team to get things started here. Drops the armor back in there. Dante gets him with the self-destruct. Wow, Eileen just not expecting it to be there, I guess.
So Guangzhou committed their own self-destruct to that fight. Houston used the Diva Bomb and Rally.
Okay.
But still, they hold on to their most important ultimates. Graviton not used. They're coming up on 2 support ults. So Guangzhou got very little out of that attack. And Houston's going to be surpassing the percent of the charge pretty soon. This is going to be very close. This next fight is very important. The Outlaws cannot use too much.
Guangzhou charge, meanwhile. Starting to feel the pressure as Houston Outlaws equalize in the control percent overall.
Trying to force him through this choke point right now.
Yep.
Dante's been on the flank this whole time.
All right, here we go. Sound barrier, charge moving in. Linkser just scaring the charge off the point right now. Rio, ooh, they have to use the Transcendence actually, but Eileen does get the kill onto Jake. So charge 2 of the 65 now.
Yeah, Jake was funneled off for the rest of his team. Now we're going to start seeing the Gravitons coming in, but they don't have value. Hotba demeched.
It's going to cost Hotba's mech. That's right. Raucus uses that Transcendent Sound Barrier for the charge as they push forward. Now they're going to drop their own grab. Can they get the kills off of it, though? There's a nice boop. Rio gets 2, actually, and there's the cleanup. So the charge should be able to, at 99% in overtime, flip the point.
Yeah, still a couple fights left for the Outlaws, however. Self-destruct coming in. Charge now
2
have to play aggressively. They need to move forward and try and use this rally to win a fight so that there's only a trickle of Outlaws players that can come back and contest the second time.
Yeah.
Rally's not there, though. They're just looking to poke. They're going to fall back.
Okay, interesting.
Guess they're worried about the self-destruct maybe carving them off. Not an unreasonable fear.
It could be Rio trying to stay alive here. Now self-destruct from the Outlaws. Don't get a whole lot for them. Rio pushing.
Whoa, the self-destruct gets 2.
2K self-destruct. Not bad. Rio with the charge, but doesn't even need to hit anybody with it. Guangzhou, 95% for them.
No.
And now they've got some ultimates.
I mean, Dante's here, but he's going to get demeched at the wrong time right as overtime begins.
That is
so
tragic,
there's no
man.
diva. It's a huge stagger.
5v6 now in the favor of the charge. They're on the verge of taking this round, and it looks like they will. Jake stunned, giving his team that extra arm at the rally, but easy Earth Shatter comes in from Rio, and now it's going to be all that cleanup. That grab, though, not enough. Raucus' Transcendence. They can't even keep Linkser alive. The charge finishes him, and it's only Jake and Dante on the point right now. Dante's Wrecking Ball not going to last too long here. Boink back just to try to sustain it, but you're never going to get that even fight anymore at this point.
Yeah, it's just in Lucio now. That's the only thing. Boink going to be coming back. Muma trying to get there in time, and they can't quite eliminate him, so Muma will not get there. Bounced out, and Charge bring it back.
They had that crucial fight. At the end, they were able to kind of pull out the extra efficiency.
Yeah, they were. Guangzhou Charge. That was incredibly close for a match that went 21-12 in favor of Charge eliminations.
Wow. Interesting. Let's check out that 2K from Hotba Self-Destruct and see exactly how that went down.
Yeah, it looks like...
All right, yeah, it's still high up in the air. Just nowhere to hide for...
I mean, he just bisects the supports, right? And he lands it perfectly on that ledge, too.
Yeah.
Raucus definitely thought he was going to have enough to get away from that, but line of sight a little bit on Hotba's side. Guangzhou Charge now looking to close out this series. Houston trying to stay alive. They must win this point here in Mecha Base.
Yep.
Happy going to be on the Widow. Links are the same. Dante on Tracer. This is a key weapon that they lacked last season. The Houston Outlaws was an ace Tracer player. Now they have it. This is their main offseason acquisition.
Let the duel begin. Happy looking for shots. Nobody willing to show their faces. Finds Muma now. A little bit of damage onto that Winston. I think that a lot of it. Shu needs some protecting. Links her down. Hotba manages to infiltrate the back lines and take him down.
Question is if Hotba can get out, and he can't. Boink manages to get the elimination on the counter. But, Dante caught out by Chara, so Guangzhou still a player up.
Oh, both Lucio's getting bloodthirsty early on these teams. Rio. All right. Jake, a lot of trouble. He gets out with the translocator anyway, but now it's Boink on his own. Gonna lose him, and it's gonna be the charge taking the point first.
Nano boost on Muma, though, so they actually have to leave the point.
I was gonna say, whoa, there we go, Happy. Finally finding a pick onto Linkser here. Has to deal with Dante, and he gets him, Happy. What a shot!
You love to see those plays. It's good to see some Widowmaker again, and that's a big pick off there to clean up the Outlaws. However, Outlaws did make a massive delay, so the point was taken very late.
Yeah.
Guangzhou charge now. They're coming close to that EMP. Same thing with the Outlaws.
It's going to be I think it's going to be a classic nano boost, the Tracer from the Guangzhou Charge side.
I think you're right. That's how they do like to play this
point.
point.
Love to do that, yeah.
Hoppa waiting, pulse bomb available for him.
Yep.
Don't think they see him yet. He's going to try and pull. No, he's not going to use the pulse. Going to wait for that to go. Going to try and finish off Linkster. Pulse bomb going to miss, but Rio's minefield does not.
He's like,
how could it?
I mean, the thing is, it's like, all right, the bomb I'm going to throw at you misses, but the bomb that you walk into, that's, you know, that one's okay. Jake on the point right now. He's got the EMP. Maybe he can get a kill on the Hotba here, but no, he gets found out. Has to translocate away.
Hoppa, though, gets low, hit by the Bionic Grenade.
Not as low as Muma right now.
Zipping away Muma. I mean, the Outlaws have just been picked off one by one. They've never been able, they've been able to stall, but they've never really had control over this point.
I mean, the DPS right now, nice hack, actually. The DPS.
Nice stick.
Wow, I was about to say the DPS on Charge outplaying the Outlaws, but I could be wrong there as Dante comes back and makes a big one along with Jake.
I mean, but how long is this stall going to take? Eileen managed to take out Dante. Muma's at 1 HP on the point right now, and he's nano boosted. Linkster, though.
Linkster being oppressive with this Widowmaker. Finally finds skill to show. I'm happy. Back there for the revenge. And here's Hotba onto Raucus. Misses the melee. Raucus trying to keep himself alive. The recall. Hotba. Nope. Can't get out. Feels good, though. Ooh, that feels good for Happy.
And all of this chaos means there's no pressure on Happy. They're finally just going to try and get there by using the Primal Rage, but he is EMP'd, and Happy now, once again, free to take shots with that Infrasight across the map.
It also means there's no pressure on the point either. One shot on the point. Are you kidding me? Happy's Widowmaker is insane. Shu comes back with some bloodthirsty support action, but it doesn't matter, man. That is the match. Guangzhou Charge 2-0 on Busan to clear it out.
Very dominant last point on Mecha base from Guangzhou. Happy popping off.
That round with Happy's Widowmaker made the entire thing worthwhile. That was an exciting conclusion to that one.
I mean, Happy ended that with a 33% scope critical hit rate, which is quite high for a point.
1 out of 3 shots is a headshot. I'll take it.
So very nicely done by the Charge. This is their chance to start turning their season around.
Yeah.
Taking an important win in a series of must-win matches in order to keep their season playoff hopes alive.
Right. It's a good start. It's the start they were looking for. Now the pressure is on for Houston to try to get a win in their last match of the stage a little bit later this week. But I'm just so happy we got to see Happy's Widowmaker.
I mean, it's about time, right?
Oh, no kidding, man. That was fun. Well, Shu, meanwhile, standing by with Danny down on the stage floor to give us some thoughts about that series.
Montindo, thank you very much. What is up, everybody? I am here with Shu from Guangzhou Charge. Congratulations on the win. What an amazing series. You guys almost lost it, but you guys won at the end, so congratulations. I feel like, for stage 2, I feel like Guangzhou Charge had a pretty rough schedule, but towards the end, you guys were able to win and you guys were able to perform better. My question, Shu, is what can the fans and what can everyone expect from you guys starting from stage 3? 아무래도 광저우 팀이 좀 이번 스테이지 2에 좀 아무래도 좀 힘든 스케줄이 많지 않았나라고 생각을 하는데요. 스테이지 3에서는 좀 어떤 모습을 기대할 수 있을까요?
일단 스테이지 3 때 저희 딜러 네로라는 선수가 나이가 풀려서 조금 더 좋은 조합을 사용하면서 좀 더 세질 것 같고 젠야타나 아나를 더 연습해서 넘버1이 되도록 하겠습니다.
Alrighty, so first thing, we have a player named Nero who is going to be able to play in Overwatch League and join the team because he's going to turn 18. He's a great DPS player, so I'm very excited for that. And also, I am going to be practicing more Ana and Zenyatta to perform better and to be more helpful to the team, to Guangzhou Charge. Alrighty, but you guys, you're already doing great though. 지금 너무 잘하고 있는데 벌써? 뭘 더 잘하려고 하시나요?
세계 최고 서필 분을 이기고 싶습니다.
My goal is to beat the best flex support in the league. Who is that? Who is that? 누군가요?
제 우상 류지영 선수.
My role model, Ryu Jae-hyung. I am going to beat him. Okay. One more question. You actually have a long break. What are you going to do during the break? Shoe, are you going to go shoe shopping? 뭐 브레이크 동안 이제 좀 있으면 굉장히 긴 방학이 좀 있는데 좀 신기가 있는데 그때 뭐 하실 건가요?
메이플 스토리?
Playing a lot of different games. Alrighty, let's just leave it at that. Shu, thank you so much. Montindua, back to you.
Thanks, Danny. I don't know if that last translation was quite accurate, but you know we'll give you that one. Yeah, he's going shoe shopping. That is adorable.
I mean, a lot of teams might be shoe shopping.
Well, I think so too. Our Owned by HP player of the match is Shu, and why wouldn't he be, man? Just great play from this guy all throughout the series. And what can you say? I mean, great Zenyatta play, his Ana play, the utilities very well. And he says he needs to practice more. I think in terms of the players on Guangzhou right now that need the least practice, Shu is probably right there, man. He is looking great.
I do think it's fun that he shouted out Nero, who will be turning 18 soon. Excited to see what he can bring to this roster. But as you're looking here with Ana, more final blows than deaths. Always nice for an Ana player.
Yep.
So really, I mean, still definitely in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, Shu.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and shouting out Jaehong too, his inspiration, and that's one of the coolest things about the flex supports in the league right now is that we have Jaehong playing, who's this legendary flex support, and now we have this new generation coming up that's so good. The Shus, the Jonaks of the league, that kind of like say, hey, Jaehong's the guy who inspired me. It's a beautiful story. It's been a beautiful day of matches here on the Overwatch League. Don't go anywhere though, because we have Watchpoint coming up right after this. The team on the desk is going to break it down, tell us what we should be excited about. I think you already know, but hey, it's fun to hear them talk about it anyway.
Fun to watch those happy highlights, that's for sure.
That's right. Thanks for watching, guys. Stick around for Watchpoint. We'll see you for more matches tomorrow.
Огонь по готовности!
Welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show. We are live in LA from the Blizzard Arena. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and we've got a great night crew for you tonight. I've got the whole team. If you missed them on our pre-show, don't worry, they're back. We've got the good ones. We've got Brenji, we've got Sideshow, and Wolf. Wolf is still with us. Yes, we're all excited to have Wolf with us tonight. It's not that the Philadelphia Fusion are signing here in the Blizzard Arena. That was all for you, Wolf.
Everyone's really excited to have me on the desk every time. I totally understand.
I'm super excited to have you, and we're going to start the show with you today on one of my favorite segments, which is What Did You Learn Today? I know you watched a lot of games, a lot of players, but what did Wolf learn?
I think the biggest takeaway for me today was that I shouldn't have doubted the Shocker there. I shouldn't have said, I don't know, maybe their skill is atrophied. They've been playing weaker opponents. They looked really clean today, looked really good. If you look at the Junkertown match in particular, that really stood out to me. This team looks insanely coordinated right now, and we shouldn't underestimate them as I did earlier today.
There you go. Josh?
I'm going to go with what I'm starting to learn the more we're going through this week. Not so much a today specific thing, but I'm learning that the stage playoffs, every single time they come around, are going to be nuts. Because we're in the final week, I'm looking towards the stage playoffs. I'm looking at how San Francisco Shock performed, and I'm thinking, all right, we've got a bunch of undefeated teams. That just sets up the stage playoffs to be so good.
It's looking good. What about you, Brenji?
You know what? Honestly, I was going to have a nice little thought-provoking moment here on the desk today, but instead I want to pull something up. Honestly, Warren, pull up the tape.
Myself and Wolf will be participating in the talent takedown representing the Pacific Division.
Definitely going to be winning, too.
We are going to be hard clapping Brennan Sideshow. They do not stand a chance.
You and I are technically from the East Coast. We'll take the Pacific.
But we live in Korea most of the time, so it's all right.
What was that one? Sorry, we're going to be hard clapping Brennan Sideshow.
I like that he left me out. Smart guy.
I believe your best days are my worst days when it comes to playing Overwatch. At the end of the day.
say it.
Not only this, my career high is more than both of your SRs combined as it stands.
I didn't even say anything.
It literally is more than it is combined. Even right now, I'm not even sure. What is your rank right now?
I just said that I'm normally from the East Coast.
Yep.
But it said that
Brent, real quick, in Wolf's defense, how many matches have you won on that stage? That's all you needed to know, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid quite yet. Back into the show, Brad. Two teams hoping to end stage 2 on a high note faced off today when the Houston Outlaws took on the Guangzhou Charge. We all saw the first half. It was Charge up 2-0 in some very messy games. Then we went to Kings Row, and Houston came back alive, guys.
They did. It was as soon as they were able to play these triple tank, triple support compositions, and they got back into it in the second half. They dominated the Charge. Actually, they pooped on them, and Houston Outlaws really outclassed them. And it was such a change from one half to the next. And then when we went to Busan, they didn't play it. It was an incredibly confusing match in total. A lot of mistakes from both teams, but Outlaws were battering the front line of the Charge when it came to Kings Row.
I think I kind of am starting to figure out what the Outlaws are doing with their roster subs. Like, I think that we're seeing
Please
Dante,
tell me.
I think we're seeing Dante in with Linkster when they want to run triple DPS. We're seeing a lot more of Spree when they run just 3-3, like we saw on Kings Row, for example, like you can see here. And we're seeing Linkster coming specifically on maps that suit his hero pool.
Yeah, it's
pretty logical, actually. Like, I feel like everyone's trying to make this out to be some sort of mystery.
No, it is a mystery, though. It is, like, you've explained the what, but it doesn't explain the why. Dante's better than Spree on Sario, and it still gives you that flexibility, and it makes you super predictable every time he comes in. Like, I still think that doesn't make much sense, even though that's what they're doing.
I will say this, though. The real blessing is that this was the last match of the day, so we don't have to watch half of it here.
Shush, Brett.
Wow.
Shush.
Hating on this match. I was excited, though. I called it before the week kicked off. We were going to a Game 5, and the Charge would be able to clutch up. Yes, my predictions on our website that everyone read earlier this week came true.
You're
the Charge showing strong.
I always look forward to the bucket predictions.
I knew you did, Bren. I knew just as much as I look forward to that email that says, "Can you send in your predictions?"
This was really weird. I mean, Houston are normally super good at this stage. They run this weird Torbjorn strat, and Guangzhou just read it instantly and switched over to double sniper. So then you've got this weird scenario where Houston have decided that they're going to run triple DPS for the majority of the
How is this not in the All-Star game? Put Happy in the All-Star game.
Happy just dunks on them.
I mean, Happy has been a really good Widow player through the Widowmaker meta. Like, we had Widowmaker meta here in Overwatch League 2018, but over in Korea, we had that as well, the sniper meta. And Happy excelled in that meta and was one of the more terrifying Widowmaker players in Korea Korea. So it's no shock that as we see a slow transition back to more Widow play, that he is going to have these incredible moments.
So we kind of talked about the Charge ahead of time, guys, and that this was their moment. Maybe you start a run here. You got a weaker schedule coming up in Stage 3. Is there a chance we see this team in the top 10 at the end of the season if Happy keeps playing that way, Wolf?
I think there's definitely a real chance. I mean, we saw them excel in Stage 1. Different strength of schedule, of course, but they even brought Vancouver to a 5th map. I think there is a lot of potential on the squad. They've got Nero coming in as soon as he reaches 18. So I do think there is a strong argument to be made, given what we've seen so far and what the meta shifts will probably be in the future, Stage 3, Stage 4, that this team could get top 10, absolutely.
Looking forward to that. Let's keep this moving on. Coming off a 2-0 weekend at the first ever homestand, the Dallas Fuel came into their match today against the Mayhem with 1 goal. And that's to win. Why? If you win, you're in for the Stage 2 playoffs. And the Fuel, well, we were a little bit worried for them early on. Mayhem came out strong, but ultimately it was Dallas able to achieve their goal.
Dallas looked a little sloppy coming out of their homestand event, and I think that's understandable and acceptable, especially because they pulled it back at the halftime. But they started out looking not quite their old selves, and I think it made Florida look a little better. And honestly, I think Florida are playing better. But I think Hagapyeon played very well, and I think we saw some good performances as well coming out from BQB when he was able to play Sombra. He had a good Zarya as well. But there's still... The first half of this game was not great Overwatch, I think, and that's why Florida looked a lot better at the beginning, but then Dallas just came out in the second half.
Dallas was doing some weird stuff with running the non-Zarya Sombra defenses as well, which can give you a lot of trouble. If you end up losing one of your members early, there's just no sustainability in that style of composition, as Monty was pointing out in the broadcast. And I think they tried some things here. I think they experimented a little bit, Dallas did, and it didn't work out like they planned. I think we also have to remember that Florida Mayhem is a completely new roster with, removing the Western players and going full Korean. Yes, it's not extremely different, and we still have the core pieces here, but I think it's taking some time to get to what you expect to see from a roster of this caliber. It's not there yet.
As a question to that then, what if you're looking at this Florida Mayhem squad and the way they're performing right now, what are the players that you would want to be keeping to rebuild around?
I think you've got to keep Hagapyeon, that's for sure.
Yeah,
and I think BQB as well. I think BQB has his fail moments, to be sure, but I think that's a symptom of the bigger problem is that this team is just not coordinated together just yet. There's always been Tavik slotted in. We saw them scrimming with McGravy for a really long time, for example, Apply. And Saya players just now coming to his own on Brigida. So these are all these things that add up that make BQB look like a weaker player individually, when we know, based on what we saw from him in the past in Korea, he's a champion, he was on X6, that he is a phenomenal player. We've seen him have his phenomenal solo moments on Sombra, for example. So I think that in time, this roster will come together, but it might be too late, at this point.
It's starting to hurt. Absolutely. At the end of that one, it's Dallas up 3-1. And here is a look at our Stage 2 standings. As we mentioned, with the win, Dallas Fuel have clinched. So have 5 other teams. Still 2 spots up for grabs here in Stage 2. Currently, it's the Spark and Dynasty in that position, but the Dragons and Hunters still on the edge. Guys, how do you see this playing out?
The crazy thing here is that if Hunters managed to sneak in, I think they would be one of the scariest teams in playoffs. In terms of how they match up against a lot of these teams.
Maybe. They're always a bit of a wild card pick. I think it would be a tragedy if the Seoul Dynasty don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Dragons actually as well are playing pretty well, but their next match is going to be up against the Shock, and that's not going to be a fun time.
What's really cool about this situation, too, is we have potential historic playoffs here, because looking at the statistics, it looks very likely one of these players from 7 to 10 is going to get through. It's very likely we'll see our very first Chinese team making it into playoffs in Overwatch League history. So that's exciting. For me, I'm looking at this, and I think it's probably going to be Spark and Dynasty. I feel like the Dragons, even though they have really great moments with their DPS players, a little bit inconsistent.
I was going to say, is no one else excited that there's a chance we'll see the Shanghai Dragons in a stage playoff? I'm pumped. I'm cheering on Shanghai at the end of this one.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's all right. It's pretty cool. They are a completely different team.
We'll talk about that during the break. Speaking of the break, coming up, we'll find out if the Shock were able to keep their 20-map win streak alive. Don't go anywhere. It's the Watchpoint Post Show.
Dragoons!
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
I smell McDonald's fries.
Wait, I smell that too. Someone really got the Mickey D's up in this piece.
Yeah,
me too. McDonald's up in this piece, bro.
McDonald's.
Potato. You say McDonald potato.
Do you smell what the Shock are cooking? Sorry, Dwayne. I had to do it. All right, you never know. Those guys are on a historic run right now. Coming into today, having won 5 straight matches without dropping a map. All eyes were on the San Francisco Shock to see could they make it 6 matches, a perfect 24 games in a row.
That point, it almost happened, didn't it? I mean, Philly was very close in a few moments. You can see here, 99% in the overtime, but I mean, a few clutch moments coming out from San Francisco Shock. You never really count this team out. I mean, they're just so incredibly skilled individually. Their teamwork is... I'm going to come out with a hot take here.
Honest of takes.
If you tell me that the Shock have better teamwork than the Titans, you might be getting a slap.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna say,
they don't.
Yeah, I think they might.
No.
I think there is a case for this.
Oh, Wolf is siding against the Titans. Now it's real. Keep going, Wolf.
I think that maybe, we can't know for sure, and maybe we'll get a rematch in the finals, but I think there might be a case that the Titans are a little bit more mechanically skilled with some of their players, especially Twilight.
Yeah, I could buy that.
But then the Shock are able to play around crazy team fight win scenarios better. Like, they're taking a lot more 4v6 fights and turning them around with Sinatra's grabs.
I don't know. The Titans are very famous for investing their ultimates and still being able to come away with it with these clutch moments. And I think it takes a lot of incredible teamwork to be able to play with Bumper playing so aggressively and be able to coordinate all of that stuff and still be able to clutch out the fights.
I do want to make it clear that I'm not like completely agreeing with Brent, but I do feel like there is a case that you could maybe make at this point leading up into playoffs, because we could have that rematch in the finals.
If you give me a percentage out of 100, how much are you agreeing with Brent? 60%?
Maybe like 45?
45, okay.
So it's a slight disagreement, but you can see value in it. Okay.
I'm kind of, but when I look at this as well, I'm looking at the sort of their ability to just kind of tech in specific heroes like Baptiste and how they use him on particular.
This was so cool.
God, they're unbelievable. Like, Rascal is by his head and shoulders the best Baptiste in the world.
Yeah.
Like, there is nobody that I've seen that comes close to the level of Rascal, actually. And that's amazing to me, because it does really give them something that we haven't seen from the Titans. That's the one thing that, like, you try and run something crazy against Shock, they're not going to have to switch anybody other than Rascal to Baptiste, because it just deals with everything else.
It was a super successful defense there on the attack that we saw at the last round, because he had the Baptiste. They could spawn camp because the Baptiste could range heal there.
What I love is that they're so confident that